Hi, I'm Lisa Thompson, author of The Great Escape, A Girl's Guide to Leaving a Marriage. Thank you for joining me today. I am sharing a few tips on what not to do when you tell your children you're planning to get divorced or a separation. Definitely the most difficult part of a separation or divorce is talking to the children about it. I need my glasses. So I share 5 things that you don't want to do. Number 1, you don't want to tell the children independently. So make sure that you're all together as a family and that you and your spouse have discussed, even rehearsed, exactly what you're going to say to the children. So make sure you're together as a family and don't tell one child and not another one and wait a day to tell the other one, because unfortunately the one that you didn't talk to may find out about it through someone else, and you don't want that to happen. You also don't want to discuss it without the other parent, without your spouse. So family unit, think about what you're going to say, rehearse what you're going to say ahead of time. Number 2 is to go in cold and just, you have not planned your speech, basically. You haven't planned or anticipated any questions from the children. Big mistake. You want to, this is a really important occasion, because it is an occasion that for most of the adult children that I've spoken to, it is a moment that they do remember. No pressure. It is a moment that they do remember for a long time. So you want to try to make it as smooth as possible and as damage-free as you possibly can. Tip number 3, telling the children whose idea it is to get divorced. Please don't do that. It's setting the children up immediately at the time of the announcement to pick a side and pointing a finger at one of the parents and saying, well, this was mom's idea, so she's to blame for all this. I mean, it's ludicrous. Obviously that's a big no-no, but you'd be surprised how often that it does happen. And so don't do that. Number 3, don't tell the kids whose idea it was to get a divorce. Number 4, don't tell them that everything will be fine and nothing will change, because it's just not true. And it's a false promise, it's a false hope. So I think the intentions are good when us parents tell our kids that everything's going to be fine. But the reality is that we're sort of setting them up for some disappointment. I think what's better to do at this point is to say that you are uncertain of the future yourself, that just admit that things are going to change. And you can certainly say that you hope for the better, that you hope that things will be better. And the one thing that does stay the same is that you're still a family. You're just a family in different homes, but the love for your children is still your number 1 priority. So you can instead focus on the one thing that isn't going to change, which is your love for your children. Number 5, dismissing the children's questions or fears and their tears. So number 5 is, because you're uncomfortable and because you're emotional as well, and I know for myself, we tend to not want to address our children's emotion because it's too painful for us. We feel responsible. But I would suggest what's maybe better at this point is to let them express that right away and allow them to cry. Don't tell them to stop crying. I think, it is a shock, it's a grief thing, and I think the best thing you can do for anyone you know, it's sort of similar to if a friend lost a loved one, you would, you know, take them in your arms and hug them, and maybe you don't have anything that you can say to them. And I think it's very similar with children, in letting them know that it's okay to cry and that it's okay to be a little bit afraid, and you just hold them and comfort them as much as you can. I don't think that explanations or words are as important as the physical closeness in that moment. So, I'll just go over again very quickly what not to do when you're telling your kids about your divorce. Number 1, do not tell the children independently of your spouse or of anyone in the family. Number 2, don't forget to rehearse and plan what you're going to say. Number 3, don't tell the children who wants the divorce. Number 4, don't tell them everything will be fine and nothing will change. And number 5, don't dismiss their questions, their fears, or their tears. Thank you again for joining me, and I really hope that helps you put into perspective and maybe plan how you're going to have that discussion with your kids. If you have any other questions, please contact me through my website, or you can always leave a comment. And if you're interested, I do cover a section on talking to the children about your divorce in my book. So if you're interested in the book, you know you can buy it through my website at lisathompsonlive.com, or you can buy it as an ebook on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and iTunes. Thanks again for tuning in. Until next time, bye-bye.